Howdy folks, welcome back to 15 Nautical Mile Arc. Today we are going to do a little test. We are finally in X-Plane 11.10, which means not only do we have our 20 preset views we just did a video on, a tutorial, but we also get to see if this plane will land without the ground effects sucking it into the ground. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, every video we've been doing with this Carenado B1900D, we come in for a great approach, and when we're about 10 feet off the ground, we get sucked into the ground, no matter what speed we're flying at. And for the longest time I thought it was my fault, but then I did some research and I found out it is not my fault. It is the dynamics, the airflow dynamics within the model within X-Plane 11. And it doesn't affect every aircraft. It affects mostly turboprops, I believe. It doesn't affect jets, as far as I know. And it affects some very light aircraft, but not others. This aircraft, though, is very, very much affected. And I haven't had a good landing since I started X-Plane 11, even with this updated X-Plane 11 version of this aircraft. So I'm hoping X-Plane 11.10 fixed this. We're going to find out together. And I have heard both scenarios. I've heard some people say, yes, X-Plane 11.10 fixes the ground effects problem. I've also heard people say there's no reason it would have fixed it at all, and it won't be fixed. So we're going to give it a shot together and find out together with my YouTube audience if 11.10 fixes the ground effect issue. I'm a pessimist when it comes to miracle solutions, so I have a feeling it will not fix it, but maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. If we start with low expectations, it can only get better, right? So we're in Oxford, Ohio, home of Miami University. They have their own airport there. This is actually going to be where we land in our next leg of our transcontinental series, but I just thought we'd pick this airport because my frame rates will be nice and high while we have some weather on, and I know the area very well. So we are going to do two things. First of all, I'm going to prove that we can fly and hold 84 knots completely dirty, just to prove that it'll work, and then we're going to try to land at about 90 knots or so. So what do I mean by dirty? Gear down, flaps down, below landing weight, which is 15,800, and we are way below that, I think. Let's actually see what our weight is. 13.2. So we're below max landing weight, not a problem there. And we're just going to give this a shot. So everything's up and running. Let's get, whoops, I totally just screwed up my engines because I bumped the wrong key. Let me get these restarted fast. Alright, and just like that, we're back. Flaps coming down, I believe they are. As soon as those get down, we will take off. Alright, here we go. Holding the parking brake, throttles forward. And away we go. We're going to keep gear down, and we're going to keep flaps down, because I want to show you what happens here when we fly dirty, and how we should be able to maintain 84 knots. And I don't know why it stalled like that. This is my very first time using X-Plane 11.10, so if crazy things are going to happen, we're going to find out together, learn about them together over the city of Oxford right now. Alright, so we're going to slow down. We're still dirty. If you look out the back, gear is down, flaps are down. What I'm going to do is we are going to reduce throttle here. So I'm going to use pitch to control my speed and throttle to control my ascent or descent. We are going to maintain 84 knots. And I'm going to show you that it can be done. Alright, so we're going to use throttle now. There we go. We are maintaining level flight at about 89 knots or so. Right on the money, and we're not stalling. And we're doing just fine. Okay, so let's bring the gear and flaps and do a circuit here. And let's see if we can land without coming to a crash. Alright, so what I want to do this time is I want to approach very slow. Gears down, flaps are down. I want to approach very, very slowly, because I already proven a couple minutes ago that we can maintain 89 knots without stalling. So I want to see what happens when we get too low to the ground at that speed. So I'm going to use throttle to control our descent rate because it's too much right now. I'm going to use pitch to control our speed, which I want to be slower right now. So we're going to point up a little bit to slow down by using throttle to adjust the rate of descent. Keep it just above 500 feet per minute there. Our speed is nice and slow. It's about 95 knots or so. Let's slow down a little bit more. See, we're maintaining control just fine. Okay, we're about 90 knots. Alright. And see, we're able to control this. We're not stalling. That's okay. I feel us getting sucked down, but that tree's deceptive. Alright, so let's hold off now. We're at 89 knots. And we're maintaining almost level flight. Let's see what happens. Pull back. Oh, can I do it? Hey, okay. That, wow. What was that? Okay, that worked just fine. That, I can't explain what happened there. That was a greaser, I didn't even know we touched down. And then we kind of came up a little bit because I thought we were above the ground. So that seemed to be okay. We're going to watch a replay of that one. Let's go over here and set the parking brake. Let's watch a replay of what just happened. Alright, so we're coming in nice and smooth. And let's see what happens here. I held it off. And we had a greaser. Holy cow. I didn't even bounce it. Look at that. Nose wheel went down gently. That was amazing. Okay, let's check the instruments now and see what happened. Alright, so we're about 91 knots. 100 feet per minute or so. Look at that. Let's look at that again. So let's go close up. So 91 knots, 100 feet per minute. Here, touchdown. We did not get sucked down. That was smooth as silk. Oh my gosh. I am so glad I was pessimistic in the beginning because look at this. Smooth. Wow. Oh, I'm so happy. I feel like I have my simulator back. Let's go back to real time and talk about this. Alright, so between, let's see where we are. Between my higher frame rates and, I mean, like, we're like over 40 frames per second right now. Between the higher frame rates and the fact that this airplane can now land, I don't know what to say. I'm so happy. I feel like this simulator, I finally have my simulator back. Oh, how exciting is that? Alright, well folks, there you have it. One of my shortest videos ever, but I just wanted to see if this thing would land without getting sucked into the ground, and it did. So there you go, X-Plane 11.10. Ground effects issue, at least for this aircraft, seems to have been resolved. Now, to do a real flight in the next video and see what other issues we may or may not have to encounter. Until then, I'll see you next time.